I think we're all obsessed with money in a way that's really dysfunctional at the moment because the market isn't working as well as it used to. And as a result, people who can figure out how to get the market to work for them have taken on it used to be lots of people could get the market to work well enough for them. And I think that increasingly we don't find it very interesting if you're not absolutely crushing it. On the other hand, a lot of the people who are actually crushing it are really finding defects in the market and exploiting them, not necessarily productively. So I think it's really, I'm worried about our building a golden calf out of people who are succeeding in this particular market. I think that this incarnation of the market is not my favorite. In particular, I don't like guessing games about what is the Fed going to do next, what's happening in China, do you think the data is real? That's not as interesting as, it's interesting if you can play it and make money, but it's not interesting intrinsically to think about what's in the head of particular players as opposed to what's going on in innovation in general, or financial inclusion or financialization. I'm more attached to trying to figure out if the market still really reflects us, or is the market breaking down in late stage capitalism?
I tried to figure out technical trading I invested 2.5 years of my life doing it. And after that 2.5 years, I realized it wasn't for me, because it takes a lot more sheer, you don't have to pardon the expression, but it takes balls to be a technical trader.
That's true. I think it's also the case that a lot of us are devalued by virtue of the fact that we have skills that the market doesn't yet recognize as valuable. And so there's the whole issue, I talk a lot about public goods. Public goods are things for which price and value are not kept together. And if you produce a lot of value, but you can't capture the value because of some market defect, then the market sort of views you as a loser. And one of the things that's really important is how much talent is currently miscast as loser in our current system. And I think if we don't watch that, it's going to be a revolution. I think that the number of incredibly talented people who have so much to give the world and who are so appreciated, who cannot capture the value that they create, is an international scandal that people are afraid to talk about, because if you complain about it, it must be that you're a loser. And so one of the things that I'm interested in is representing the loser community. I think that there's more talent in the loser pile than there is in the winner pile, by far. And a lot of that is a mistake when you see somebody who's just incredible, like a musician. If you think about Mark Knopfler, singing about down in the tunnel trying to make it pay, and you think about all of the great musicians. Think about Joshua Bell's famous experiment where he was playing the violin in a metro station, and people could listen to one of the most sought after violinists in the world and just walk right by him. I used to watch Tracy Chapman playing and singing in the arches of the Harvard Cooperative, the Coop, in Cambridge, and it used to break my heart. I would think, gosh, this unfortunate woman, she's such a talent.
She could just catch a break.
She could just catch a break. And, it's like your feet from Tracy Chapman. And it was clear. Now, if you take all of those people, like Eva Cassidy, why isn't Eva Cassidy a billionaire? Why wasn't she during her lifetime? That talent, Jesus, every time I put it on, I just come apart. And the fact that the market can't reward this stuff, in particular what happened to music when music became files, because a file is inexhaustible. You can play it any number of times and the zeros and ones don't degrade the way vinyl does. And it's inexcludable because if there's no encryption on it, you can share it 1,000,000 times. It constitutes a public good. And so musicians were some of the first people to get royally screwed by the so-called abundance economy. And, this is one of the things that's really important. What saves music is the ability to tour. Why? Because you can lock people out of a hall, and when it's over, it's over. And so those things allow you guys to charge for your services. But I want to get back to the point where we can charge for music, and we can, at some level, say thank you through the market for the fact that you've written the soundtrack of our lives.